Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sefa, and quick update on what's going to happen in this channel next is I'm planning to share some software related videos about React and React Native. We're gonna do some coding. I'm gonna share my experiences with you guys, so hope you guys enjoy that and learn some new skills with me. If you are interested on this topic, leave a comment down below what type of projects would you like to see in the next videos. And yeah, for this one we're gonna start with some basic stuff. We're gonna do some let var and const comparison, and then we're gonna solve some examples. And in order to do that we need I'm using Visual Studio Code. You can download it for free if you write Visual Studio Code in the Google. You'll see the download link here. Depending on your operating system, you can download it, whichever one is suits you the best, and you can go from there. And you do not need anything else specifically to be able to follow along with this tutorial, with this video. And once you download and install that, you are good to go. And if you open up a terminal and write so I'm gonna go into my desktop, and I have a folder called YouTube. I'm gonna cd into that as well. So you just gonna make a folder. Let's make this JavaScript let var const. Let's say I want to name the folder this, and I can do cd JavaScript let var const and code. It's gonna open the folder within the Visual Studio Code for me. This is a feature that you need to enable while installing the Visual Studio Code, so don't forget that. And let's close this. And what we need to do here is we need an index.html file, and we need one index.js, which is JavaScript file. You can basically just I'm gonna copy paste this all thing here. There are snippets. Let's take a look at a snippet first for this. I didn't install any HTML snippets for my I removed previously installed anyway. Probably it's not supported anymore, but if I do doc, is it gonna work? It's deprecated because it's no longer maintained. That's fine for now, I don't mind that. It's not working. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna copy the whole thing that I had, and I'm gonna go over it. So in order to be able to follow along with this tutorial, you need some basic HTML and JavaScript knowledge, and besides that you don't need anything else. So we have our HTML tags here, we have body here, and in order to be able to run this code, like Visual Studio Code gives you everything you need. So if there's a go live button here, if you press that, it's gonna open up the whole thing for you within in your default browser. So we have here like our text, this section, which is like here, and then we have two inputs, result and calculate button. Before going into that, I'm gonna open console. In Mac, Command Shift C. In Windows, it should be Control Shift C, and it's gonna open console panel for you. And so to be able to do the comparison of let var const, in that JavaScript file, I'm gonna write 3 different functions, and I'm gonna console log within those functions and show you how are different. And let's go with function, let's say a var example to this one, right? And if true, let's say, which is gonna be always true, right? var variable let's say equals var variable, let's assign this to a string, and if I log this like that, and we will be able to see this console log once we call the function. And I'm gonna do the same thing for let, and let's do let selecting let example, let variable. If I select here case sensitivity, I can select these guys. I'm just trying to do something shortcut, but you know, let variable, let's say. Even if here, like, you can see that var variable is accessible. How do I know it's accessible? It's that highlighted by the VS Code. If a variable is being used within somewhere after it's defined, the Visual Studio automatically highlights it for you. Like, you can see the var variable is highlighted here because we use it while console logging, right? But let variable is not highlighted because it is not accessible out of its the scope of its defined in. So this is gonna be let variable undefined, or it's gonna throw an error. We'll see that. I'm not exactly sure right now for the console log what's gonna console log. So let's go with const. Const variable, and const example, right? If I save, yeah, now we can see it's same thing for the const as well. Sorry, I got a SMS. So it's not accessible out of its scope. So let's try to remove if here, and let's just do that. And for let, it throws an error which is like it's not defined, let variable. What I'm trying to use here is like it's not defined, it doesn't exist, such variable does not exist within the function, so it throws that error. But if I to be removed that, so you can see I forgot to change this const variable to, yeah, if I remove if from let example, then you can see it is defined, it is assigned, so it's accessible. But like again, if I do if true and that, again you can see variable is not defined and it cannot continue because it throws an error. The rest of the JavaScript file fails to run, and that's why like we cannot see the whole constant text section as well. If I take it up here, you can see that const logs out, but once this throws an error, the rest of the JavaScript file is not being able to script it and run. So this is the difference between let, var, and const. Like we can do again, for example, new value of this variable, let's say, and if I do that, I can change the variable of var variable. I'm not gonna be able to do this for let since it is not defined out of its scopes, but I can do let variable again, and then new value of this let variable. If I say, then it's gonna log out here because it's accessing the one within its scope and not the one within the if. But if I try to change the variable of const, it's gonna give me an error because const basically short for constant, which is like not changeable, right? So let's try this as a new value for this. Once I do that, you can see that assignment to constant variable, like it's an error. This is a constant. Once you define a value for this, it's not gonna be changed. You cannot change that. So it's gonna throw an error in order to show you the let variable log. I want to change it here. So yeah, this is difference between let var and const. And I also want to do a quick calculation example with get element by id. So I'm just gonna take this out so our function can, functions can run smoothly without any error. So if you see, when I paste the HTML here, we have a calculate function here. By the way, I forgot to mention, but this is how you import your JavaScript files in your HTML files. Once we go with React, it's gonna be totally different. So this is just basic stuff. Once we go with React stuff, everything is gonna be different. These are just basic stuff. I'm pretty sure you guys like know all this, but I just want to get comfortable with explaining stuff with in front of camera, and you can say like stage fear maybe. I'm gonna get over that, so we can go with like React and React Native projects. I'm gonna be able to explain them to you much easier and like much more understandable way, hopefully. And yeah, so let's get back to the subject. We have a calculate function here. We're gonna trigger that function on click of that calculate button here. And what our function is going to do is function calculate. Yes, so our function will get, once we click the button, we have two inputs and one span which shows the result here, and each of them have a unique ID. So what I'm gonna do, let first input equals to document dot get element by id, and this is gonna be the first. I'm gonna copy and paste this. Second going to be, and results. So I am now accessing all these three HTML elements. So if you read here, it says that if first input value less than 5, calculate the sum of two inputs, these two inputs, else multiply the first input's value, which is this one, by 2, and then calculate the sum. So right here what we need to do is, if first input dot value is less than 5, what are we going to do? Calculate the sum of two inputs. So if we, let's try to do const sum equals first input dot value plus I'm gonna wrap this within number because I'm gonna explain it in a second. One sec. So these values gonna return as strings, and we trying to do a math calculation here. If I do like first input value plus second input value, then it's gonna like concatenate those two string values into one, which is gonna, if I write 2 it's gonna write 22, which is not the right answer and not the answer what we are looking for. So in order to get the 4, once we write 2 we need to wrap them with numbers so it can calculate as a mathematical operation. So if I do result dot inner text equals results, right, plus sum, and try that, I got the 4. And if we go with the else statement, and what was the if input value less than 5, so what we need to do here is we need to multiply the value of first input with 2 and then calculate the sum. So we have const sum here, and I just don't want to repeat myself by writing another result.inner text here. So what I want to do here is there are 2 options for me right now. One which we learned here, if you look up, I can say var sum, right, and have it here, and I can access the sum here outside of its scope, and I can do the same but not define again, times 2, save. So it should I couldn't be sure, so right now, 1 sec, let's give it a try. Yes. So yeah, actually it worked. For a second I was hesitating if it's gonna work or not, but it's working. So as soon as we define this sum as var, it's the value changeable here, and you can use the value down below here as well. Other thing you can do, I'm gonna copy this, remove the var, and I'm gonna say let sum and save. So we can change the sum value sum here and access it here because it's within the calculate function scope. So if I do 2, 3, it should give 5. If I do 6, 3, it should give 9. Sorry, 6 times 2, 12 plus 3, 15. That's correct. So you can either do this or the previous way. It's up to you. Let's try it with const. As you can see, declaration must be initialized, it says. Let's give it a try as 0 and see if it's gonna change the value of sum. 5 for the, let's do 2, 5, calculate. It's gonna throw an error because this is a constant. We gave the constant value, initialized it with 0, and we try to change it later on, which is not possible, and JavaScript doesn't want us to do it. So you gotta use let here. You don't need to initialize it if you use let and change the value later on here. So yeah, basically you saw let, var, and const differences, and we use them within a calculate function example here. This is gonna be all it for this video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And so yeah, this is gonna be all it for this video. You pretty much see everything that I tried to apply to explain var, let, and const difference and how to use them. And for the next few videos you can expect some like basic videos like this, but after that, if you guys interested, I'll be sharing React and React Native projects, and best practices, um, different library usages. For example, the React Hook form, or like if you have suggestion, if you are wondering uh, a library that you didn't know before, you heard for the first time, and you want to know how to use that library efficiently, just comment down below on this video, and I'll go on to that in the another video. Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe and like the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Take care. Bye.